It's Mary Belk here, and I've just come back from the most fantastic event. We were in Chicago for the Empower Network event called Get Bunny, and I will tell you, it was very, very inspiring. It's hard to sit in a chair and even say that, so probably some of the next videos I do are going to be standing. But I'm doing this so quick because it happens to be that our leadership has decided in Team Take Massive Action that if we cut a video a day and we're all in, that we can compete in a contest for improving our abilities as leaders, upcoming leaders, and our abilities in front of the camera, and our abilities to state what it is that we're interested in doing with our lives and with our businesses. So I wanted to let you know that I had met some really fantastic people. I had a great time. I managed to share a room with two other women who were all in. And then at the end, one of them had to leave, and we brought in another girl who needed a place to stay for a night, and she is getting all in. So we were the other girl that came late, or she came to our hotel room late. She was at the whole meeting. She and so all of us, all three of us, went to the meeting at the TTMA event after the event. So our leadership set up a separate meeting on Monday. The event ended on Sunday night. And that meeting was fantastic. We got to actually, besides meeting some of the leaders at the parties that we went to, we actually got to film an introductory minute or 2 minutes with them. And we got to shake their hands, we got to talk to them, we got to listen to them. It was quite inspiring to be in a room in that close of quarters and see how real these people are and how important it is to them that we do our part as upcoming leaders so that we are constantly advancing our skills, our knowledge, our income levels, and our efforts. And of course, Team Take Massive Action is named for what you need to do, and that's take massive action. If you're going to really get into this and do well in it, you need to do that. You need to take massive action. Well, it's hard to totally understand it when you don't know much about the internet. You don't know much about making money online. You're old enough that computers were pretty much invented much after you were born. Actually, in fact, it was the same year I was born that the first biggest, house-size computers were being built and were originally used for military purposes. So, but as far as getting the internet going and as far as really having computers that work well for you, that was about 1982, I believe, if I remember correctly. And so by that time, I was an adult running another business, and I began to learn something about computers because I could use them to do payroll and personnel records. And we started off on a Radio Shack 3, if you can believe it. They were really, they were on their own system, not even on DOS. They were difficult to use, and so it was kind of a struggle, but it actually did reduce the amount of time we spent on payroll. So it was worth the effort to learn what it took to learn it and to utilize it. But as soon as a more user-friendly PC came out, using DOS, my husband switched over and started using that computer with Peachtree for our accounting system, and he was doing most of it at that point. Then, as we were able to get Windows software for the first time, we switched again and started using that, and I got back into it. And so at that point, I was learning a little bit more about computers. But you can start out not even knowing how to turn them on. And you can start out without any background. I didn't have much, but I had a little bit. One thing I did to learn something about computers was to go take some classes and learn some of the different programs, learn how to turn a computer on and off, and learn that I wasn't going to kill it every time I touched a key. Because you get worried about whether you're going to lose everything that you've just produced. But anyway, the point being that you can do this business without knowing anything about computers, and you can start learning about computers as you start learning about the business. And the main thing is that you learn a little something about how to make a video. And that's what we were beat over the head with this entire weekend. Video, video, video. We were told that today, in this day and age, where it's at is video. I want to go with this 90-day challenge that they have presented us with, where we will make a video every day. And we will present that video in a thread and have it prepared so that the leadership can look at it. And if we are willing to put out this effort, they are willing to even give us more training and more personalized help. And of course, you have to really, really, really put out effort if you want personalized help. In other words, you have to take massive action. And that's what I thought, been doing, but not really when you compare it to some of the things I learned this weekend at the Get Money event in Chicago. I thought I was producing to a certain extent and taking massive action to a certain extent, but not to the extent that I needed to be, and that was becoming more and more obvious. So this challenge of doing these videos once a day is going to be something that I am going to appreciate, I'm going to participate in, and I want to win. The way you do it in this business is you really want to win. And if you have the heart, you have the desire, you want to help other people, it is really, really, really important that you put your own basic desires aside to a certain extent, and that you realize that it's important to help other people. You want to help your team win. You want to be generous in personality. You want to be a servant leader. And that's one thing they were emphasizing in our separate meeting for our all-in group on Monday after the big Empower meeting over the weekend. And I totally understand where they're at, because I was raised basically in that kind of a family situation where my parents gave and gave and gave of their, they didn't have money, but they gave of their time. They spent a lot of effort supporting their church, which happened to be the Unitarian Church. My father was a minister and spent hours and hours and hours helping support the church, helping increase the membership, helping build new buildings, as well as helping to keep the newsletter going, helping to keep the congregation unified, writing sermons, all types of things. And my mother gave freely of her time. She had the responsibility of helping my father, but she also put in an extra large amount of effort doing many other things to help run parties, help run newsletters, help clean up after parties, and of course my sister and I helped with all that effort too. So we were being trained to give of our time at a young age. And then my mother helped in San Antonio with a lot of nonprofit organizations to help run them. She was both in the leadership of these organizations, and she was doing a lot of the work within the organizations. So I appreciate that type of an upbringing. I think that will help me. I think it's helped me to understand what our leadership is telling us. So I wanted to cut this video to be my first video for my first day of the challenge, and I appreciate your listening. Thank you very much.